Laura here. I'm back to start another reading vlog. So I did a themed reading vlog last week and I actually really enjoyed it. So I'm going to kind of do the opposite of that reading vlog. So this reading vlog is going to focus on books by authors that I've read in the past and they were just sort of middle of the road. I like them. They didn't wow me. So I have 3 books planned. 2 of them are e-arcs. And one of the books by this author, I read 2 books by her, and one book I liked and one book I thought was just sort of okay. So the first author we're going to chat about is Julie Kagawa. She has a middle grade book coming out. I am going to just attach a picture of it because I think it's called Sajanji something. I'm just going to get the title of it for you. I will try to attach a picture. Shuganji calls it and the Mark of the Coattails, but I'm just going to attach a picture and you guys will see that. So that's one book. I'll attach a photo. Names. But this book sounds super cute. And I read The Iron King a couple of years ago and liked it, didn't love it. And then I read Shadow of the Fox and really liked it. So I just never got around to picking up book 2. I do hope to in the future. I'm actually planning on rereading it. But I just didn't love the first book. So that's why she's in this reading vlog. And this is a middle grade book. The next author that we are going to focus on this reading vlog is Once Upon a Ak Prom by Cat Cho. I have an e-arc of that as well. This is just a contemporary. I read Wicked Fox by her and liked it and just never continued. So this is a totally different book and it is a contemporary. So I'm really excited for that. And then hopefully get some physical books done is the Feather and Flame by Olivia Blackburn. And this is the second book in the Queen Council series. And this is a Moulin story. So all of these are e-arcs. I'll be very, very honest. I'm on like 3 blog tours. So they all are themed in that way, but they're also themed about like me wanting to read these authors again. So I'm going to pick up the Julie Kagawa book first. I'm also going to the city tomorrow for Easter to meet up with a friend. So I do not know what this reading vlog will become. I don't know how long it's going to be. I do have off all week, and I really just want to read and relax. We are going to see The Breeder with the Puppy on Tuesday, so I'm excited for that as well. I will have a lot of reading time in the car. So yeah, that is the plan. So I'm going to pick this up. It is about 8:30. I don't know how late I'm going to stay up. I have started watching Friends, which I think is a very, very bad life choice, but we are here. So I'm going to read this. I'm going to read about 50 pages, and then I'll give you guys a check-in. Bye, friends. Just want to do a quick update. It's about 9:30. I did wind up reading the first 46 pages in the book by Julie Kagawa that I'm in the middle of reading. It's funny because right now I'm re-listening to a lot of Percy Jackson and the Titan's Curse, and I love anything mythology. Percy Jackson was definitely my gateway into that, and I'm really enjoying my reread, but this book does scream a lot of that as well. Like, it just has a lot of elements. Like, honestly, when I requested this book and I was on a blog tour, I really thought it was part of Rick Riordan Presents. It's not, but it would fit very, very well in there. So you follow this main character named Shinjin. I think I'm saying his name wrong. I apologize. And he lives with his aunt, and they live in Miami, but they travel, and she has like a curio shop. And he is very into gaming. He's homeschooled, so he has a lot of friends online, but not in person. And his aunt sends him on a quest to get a interesting artifact, and he picks one up, but something's wrong with it. I'll say that. And then he winds up getting taken by these people and removed from his aunt, and he starts learning what this figure is, and it's very interesting. You meet this main character, the side character that I really love. Her name is Lucy. She reminds me a lot of Leo from the Heroes of Olympus series, so I love that connection right off the bat. She has a little mouse that's like robotic that she made, which is really, really delightful. So yeah, I'm really liking it. I've been reading so many long books, so it's nice to have a shorter one that I'm really, really flying through. I'm really, really liking it. So I'm going to read a little bit more. I'm also doing reading sprints with Margaret from the Word Nerd. Not on the channel, but I'm like watching them. So I'm going to try to read another 50 pages before I head to bed for the night. And yeah, talk to you guys later. Bye, friends. I'm back. I did wind up going to the city with my friends. I did a little bit of book shopping. story of my life. I do have a week off, so I am heading into spring break. We have I really want to catch this week up on reading, and I was able to read 160 pages in the Julie Kagawa book. I really do like it. It's a different type of mythology read. I will say that it's very travel focused, which I do like right off the bat. There's two main characters, which I do like, but the mythology elements is not necessarily connected to the main character, which I don't think I've ever read like a story like that before. I guess like Percy Jackson, because it's like Greek mythology, and I guess like he's a Greek character, like he's a demigod, but he's not like, it's not his heritage, which I think is interesting. It's just interesting. Like, I like it. I'm reading it pretty quickly. I have to read this by Saturday, so I will get it done. And then I am going to do some reading sprints tonight as well, and just try to catch up. So my goal was, before I got home, was to read to page 200. I'm a little bit shy of that, but I should be able to read it with sprints tonight as well. So I'm going to go read a little bit more, and then when I get up to page 200, I'll give you guys another check-in. But I am really liking it. It's a very, very quick read, which tends to be the case for Middlegate. I hate reading books on PDF forms on my Kindle, but that's the only way this blog company does it. So some of them, like some of the next book I'm going to read is also in New York, but it's going to be through NetGalley, so that I like a lot better. So I'm going to go back to reading, and I'll update you guys when I can. Bye, friends. Here, so I'm going to do a quick check-in. It is about 7:16. I'm also doing reading sprints with retrieving books, but I want to say that I went getting up to page about 200 in my arc. My arc goes up to page 260, so I have about 60 pages left, which I think is definitely doable to complete tonight. That is the plan. I'm liking this book. It's a very interesting take on mythology, which I like, because, like, he's a Japanese main character, but the mythology that they're tackling is, like, South American, which I've never really read a story like that before. I think what Disney is doing, Disney sometimes does this where they have, like, a series idea, and different authors do a book in, like, each series, so the books aren't necessarily connected. But I think that may be what's happening. It's really interesting, though. I like it. I definitely like this book. This book reminds me a lot of her Shadow of the Fox series. Very, very adventure-y based. Very, very fun. It reminds me a lot of Percy Jackson. Like, a lot of, like, fun elements to it. It doesn't have a trio of characters, but it has a duo of characters, which I tend to also like. I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to go read the last 60 pages and then give you guys a wrap-up thoughts and see what am I in the mood to read next. That is the question. Because I really want to read something physically, but I don't know. So I'm going to go read a little bit more, and when I'm done with this book, I will check in, and then we'll sort of see what I'm in the mood for. Bye, friends. Slurry here. I'm back. I did want to say that I did wind up finishing the Julie Kagawa book. It has a long title, but I really did like it. It reminded me a lot of, like, the 39 Clues series that I read quite a bit ago. But it just had elements that reminded me of it. And I think it was because, like, even, like, the main characters, it just had a lot of mythology stuff that wasn't necessarily connected to the main character. But it also talked a lot about, like, respecting history and not taking artifacts. And it was a very, very quick read. Like, you didn't really dive into a lot of the character's history. There was some things that happened at the tail end about the main character that I did really like. I'm curious to see if this is going to follow, like, the same characters, if Julie Kagawa is going to write the whole series, or if they're going to do, like, a 39 Clues series where a different person writes every book. They have been doing that a lot with Disney. Like, one person has written book one, and then other book people have written the other books in the series. So I'm going to decide if I want to read an ebook or a physical book. My ebook option is going to be Once Upon a K Prom by Cat Cho, which is a contemporary, and I don't know what I'm in the mood for. I don't know if I'm in the mood for that, or if I'm in the mood for something else, if I'm in the mood for a thriller. So I'm gonna sort of decide what I want to read, and sort of take a couple of minutes. So I'm gonna go do that, figure out what I want to read, and then I'll report back. The vlog does involve authors that I've read in the past and haven't, like, adored. I think I'm gonna read the Cat Cho book because it's a contemporary. It's a little bit quicker, and I've been reading massive books, like, the first half of the month, so I'm in the mood to just tackle something shorter. I did like Wicked Fox. It just wasn't one that, like, wowed me, and I did want to go back and read the second book in that series, and then I just got a little bit distracted. So I'm gonna go start this Once Upon a K-Prom, and I'll read about 50 pages, and then I'll give you guys my thoughts. I'm also doing reading sprints, so I might get a little bit distracted when they come out in chat. But I do have a little bit of time, so I'm gonna go read a little bit. Then I'll come in and check in with you guys. But I definitely give the Julie Kagawa book like a 3.75 star read. I really liked it. It was a quick read, not much surface level, but like not much depth to it. But that's okay. I really liked it, and now I'm gonna go read a contemporary. Bye, friends. It's 9:13. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up reading about the first 4 chapters in Once Upon a K-Prom. There are some contemporary YA tropes that I adore, and this is definitely a book that's sort of ticking all my boxes. First, I think looking at the next chapter, it's going to be a dual point of view novel, which I love. I love books that are dual point of view. It's like one of my favorite tropes because I like that you get to see both characters' point of view. The other trope that this book has is trying to save something. So there is a community center that the main character, Elena, really likes and is trying to save. And everyone is super apathetic about it. She has a twin brother who is like top of the world. Everyone thinks he's, everything. He's their mom's favorite, everything. It reminds me a little bit of the Tweet Cute plot, but I'm really liking that. And then the plot that I think is going to be my dream plot is that Elena's best friend when she was younger has suddenly, in the past 5 years, become a K-pop star. And before this happened, they promised each other that they would go to prom together. Elena is sort of apathetic about the prom because she's trying to convince her classmates to give money to the community center so it doesn't have to close down. But suddenly on her doorstep appears Robbie, who is taking her to prom. It is very, very cute right off the bat, and I just like that, like, it has a lot of elements that I really love. Like, it's been a bit since I read a saving story that I really liked. Some of them, they get a little bit cheesy for me, or they don't save the thing, and the romance always sort of falls for the back burner. But I'm just liking all the elements of the story, like, quite a bit, to be very, very honest. So I'm gonna keep reading, and when I get up to 20%, I'll give you guys an update. Bye, friends. Here, I'm back. Oh my god, I'm really, really quite fond of this book. I'm really enjoying it. It's been a bit since I've read a contemporary that really has captured me from page 1, and I'm really liking it. I liked Cat Cho's writing when I read Wicked Fox, but I'm really enjoying the story. I think it also is, again, I always say I read to explore someone else's experience, and I think the experience that Asian American or Korean American parents have with their children is really fascinating to read about in a story, because I always think it's very, very harsh, and they have very different expectations. So I'm really liking that, and like how Elena's put up on a pedestal because like she's not as good as her brother, but also like she has very different interests. And I also love that you're sort of getting Robbie's point of view, how he's sort of looking at this whole situation. Very interesting. I did wind up getting 9 chapters. Like, I finished my 8th chapter, which I think is pretty good. I read about 17% of this book. I'm really liking it. I will admit, this month has been a bit of a struggle for me because I've been reading books for the Aurelium TBR, and I just think I picked a lot of books that were super big, and then I was getting frustrated because I wasn't reading as much, and I was like caught back in my books. So, but I'm happy that I was able to read 8 chapters. I was able to go to the city today, got to see my friends, so I'm really happy about that. But my plan this week is just to relax and read. I was planning on scrapbooking this week, but honestly, I'm just not in the mood to scrapbook now because I feel like I'm a little bit farther behind, but I do want to like set myself up to scrapbook, so that will be a project I will do this week as well. But I am going to go get ready to watch some Friends. That's the show that I picked. So yeah, I'm really excited for that, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow for my next update in Once Upon a K-Prom. But so far I'm really enjoying it. I only have 4 hours left if I read at the speed I am. Definitely can probably finish it tomorrow, and then I don't know what I'm going to read next. I do want to read another book, another backlist book that like I had on my list. But so far I'm really liking this book, so it's really good. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye friends. Lori here, I'm back. It is Monday, April 18th. It is our first day of break. I just worked out. I did a Skillshare class. I read another chapter of Hood Feminism, which is my nonfiction read. I'm trying to get into a better routine just like when I'm off for the weekends and stuff, and it's been a bit rough. So I'm trying to do that, but it is about 8:35. Last night, I did wind up making a pretty good amount of progress on Once Upon a Cat Prom. I got up to, I'm about to start chapter 9. I really am liking this book quite off the bat. It's really, really fun, delightful. It's a lot of contemporary elements that I'm really enjoying. I like that we're getting both characters' point of views. I'm also hoping that there will be some sprints today on one of the Avengers Reading Challenge hosts, because I like doing sprints with them. They're super fun. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to reading. I also have 54 videos left in my YouTube queue, which again got a little bit out of control with Bridgerton coming back and such, so I'm hopeful I will be able to catch up on that. I also do want to go for a walk today. I'm going to see how cold it is. I don't like going outside for walks when it's frigid, but that is the plan. So I'm going to go back to reading, watch a few of my booktube videos, and when I get up to chapter like 12, I'll probably give you guys another update. Yeah, when I get to like 25% done, I'll give you guys another update. Bye, friends. Do a quick update. I did wind up getting up to chapter 13, 27% into Once Upon a Cat Prom. This book just has so many elements that I really enjoy. I love flash from the past romances when they were friends before, especially. I love Friends to More. But also I love books about like people that become Hollywood royalty or like K-pop stars. I always think that those dynamics are really, really interesting. And I do like that there's another element, like she's trying to save this recreation center. And she doesn't have like the most easiest life. She has a twin brother who's like very, very popular. Her mom puts a lot of pressure on her. It's funny. I'm watching Friends right now, and the dynamic between her, like Rachel and Monica and Ross, is very similar to the dynamics between Ellen, Alina, and Ethan. So I just think that the dynamics are really interesting. But I really just like Robbie as a character. Like, you get very few chapters from his point of view, but you could just see how like the persona of being a K-pop star is not his real personality. I really am liking it. So I'll give you guys an update when I get up to page maybe like 50%, maybe a little bit more if something like dramatic happens, maybe like 35%. I'll give you guys another update. But so far I'm really liking it. It's a very, very quick read. It's been a bit since I've read a contemporary that's really captured me. And this whole month I've been reading very, very big, long books. So it's nice to just have some quick ones in me, especially because I do have the week off. So I'm going to go read a little bit more, read a couple more chapters, and I'll get up to 35%. I'll give you guys another update. Bye, friends. Just want to do a quick check-in. It's 10:10, and I did wind up reading about 35%. I'm up to chapter 17 in Once Upon a Cat Prom. This book has so many elements in previous reads I have really enjoyed. It reminds me a lot of, it's the Emma Mills book. It's like her latest book. I can't think of the name of it. It was like the pink cover, Small Town Famous or something. I can't remember the name of it. I'll attach a picture here. I remember I didn't like this book like at all. I really struggled with it. I felt like it didn't have really good character, and I felt like it was a very, very disjointed story. This book, on the other hand, is one that I'm really, really liking, and it's doing what Emma Mills didn't do in that book super well. I just love like the flashback to like a character's past and having a romance that could be built on something of friendship. Those are always romances that I tend to like, and that's why sometimes I tend to struggle in young adult fantasy when like they have a new romance interest and they fall in love in like 2 weeks. I just struggle with that sometimes, and I always tend to fall for the wrong romance trope because I like building up a relationship and not a new relationship, but that's just a personal preference. So this book has a character who's sort of trying to rekindle with her old best friend who moved away and now he's a K-pop star. That is just you're checking all my boxes. And then there's a community center that she is trying to save, and they had an interaction that might help that center So I'm really, really enjoying it. I also like that we do get point of views from his point of view, because I do like that. I said that previously. I enjoy YA contemporaries that have dual point of view, and it's really hard to find that. Most times you'll get one point of view, and it's harder to get characters like two point of views, but I'm really, really liking it quite a bit. I just think it also has a lot of depth, and you do talk a lot about Alina's past and her parents and how that is connected to her. I just really, really like it. I think it's very, very a fun story, very, very quick read, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm gonna go read up till maybe 50%, and then I'll give you guys another check-in. But I am reading it super quick. I would like to go for a walk at some point today because I do have a podcast to listen to, but it is just a little bit on the chilly side. So we will see how that works out, but I will talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye for now. Lori here. I just want to do a quick check-in. I did wind up getting up to page 47% done in my book. I'm really loving it. It's been so long since I've read a contemporary that I've flown through, and I really love Robbie as a character. I love that as the story goes on, you're getting more from his point of view. I just like their dynamics. I think they're pulling a lot from their history as well, which I'm liking. And there's also the added element they have to save something, the rec center, and I'm just really enjoying it. It's there as the story goes on, it's becoming more focused on her and Robbie, and I'm liking that. But the first half of the story was really focused on Alina's life and her, the complications of that. It does remind me of a little bit of the Jennifer E. Smith book that has the pig. Oh, I don't know if I. If this is what happy looks like, I think is the name of the book. And I love that book a lot. That was like one of my favorite YA contemporaries. So yeah, I'm really liking this. Very, very fun. I don't watch or engage in K-pop, but my students do. So just hearing about the world through them. I'm also reading another book that has K-pop elements to it as well, but it will be in a different reading vlog. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break, get some lunch, really enjoy my day off, and try to make some progress on this. I want to charge my Kindle, so if I do decide to read another ebook, it's charged. So I'm going to go do that, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I'm going to do a quick update. It's 12:08. I did wind up getting up to chapter 25, so I'm about 50% into this book, 53 if you want to be exact. Really am liking this book. There were so many elements of the story that just are capturing me, and it's just such a rich read. Again, I'm such a sucker for second chance romances or friends to more. Such a trope I like. Also, I like when the entertainment industry is introduced as well. I am quite fond of this book. I just really like both characters. I think as the story progresses, you are getting equal moments in both Robbie and Alina's head. I think it's great. There's also elements that sort of dive into Alina's interest, like saving the rec center, but also elements that dive into Robbie's, which is using his talent to save the rec center. There is the potentiality of a love triangle, which I hope gets resolved in an okay fashion. But I'm really, really enjoying it, and I really have no doubts I will finish this book today, because definitely going to be like a 4 or 5 star read for me. I'm really enjoying it. Definitely right what I was wanting for in a read, like something quick, something super fast paced. I've been reading some really, really long reads recently, and this one is just really, really quick, and I'm really, really liking it. I also like how it's sort of a different story. It's very, very K-pop focused, very focused on Japanese or Korean culture. Korean culture. I like that. I also like that Alina is a twin, which is one of my favorite tropes. I love when there's twins present and accounted for. It's like one of my favorite things. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to reading, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I'll probably update you guys when I get up to page 60% into this book. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. Bye, friends. 60% into my book. I'm liking it. I'm really enjoying it. I am devouring it. It has so many elements that work for me. And just I feel like there's a lot of subtle miscommunication in this story that I feel like I'm actually enjoying, and sometimes miscommunication elements bother me, but because the way this story is being told, I actually am liking it. But you also just see the other side of fame, how complicated being famous can be, how challenging it can be, how you don't have a life, how it's very, very image based, and how if you want to make a change, it doesn't always work. I'm just really enjoying it. I'm rooting for a happy ending, but I'm also just rooting for these two characters because I think that they're just really, really great and fun. there is definitely, the story is getting a little bit more messy, but I'm like still really liking it. There was that, you got to see the boys in their element with the K-pop elements. Again, I'm not a big K-pop fan, but I'm really just liking the entertainment element. Really liking it. So I'm on 60%, 27 chapters in. I will give you probably another update when I read to 70% and see what time it is. Right now it's 12:39. So definitely getting a lot of reading done today, and that really was the secret plan this week, is to get a lot of reading done because I haven't been as successful this whole month. So I'm gonna back to reading, and I'll update you guys when I read about 10 more percent. Bye, friends. Here I'm back. I did wind up taking a little bit of a break. It's so cold here, so I did wind up doing like an in my house workout other than my other one. I normally go for a walk or go for a bike ride. It's just too cold. In April 18th, it should not be this cold, but it still is. We are dealing with a lot of wind, which I don't remember it being that windy, but it is quite windy. So I did wind up reading to 70% in Once Upon a K-Prom. The elements of the complications of being with someone in Hollywood is being revealed in a lot of different ways, especially in regard to the K-pop phenomenon, which I am not personally familiar with. But the few books I have read, and I read Shine, I read a couple of other ones that deal with like the K-pop phenomenon, they are very strict about dating. So that's becoming a plot point on Robbie's side. And it is dealing with a lot of miscommunication issues. And I think if you struggle with miscommunication in this novel, I think you might struggle with this part of the book because it is a lot of miscommunication that probably could be cured with a simple conversation. But due to the complexities, I think it's going to cause a blow up. But I am going to keep reading. I really am liking it. It's probably going to be like a 4.75 star read. Obviously, it may be a perfect read. Like, I don't know, but I'm really enjoying it. I don't hate miscommunication. Some books I do. Some books I do hate miscommunication. Other books I understand, like, for the situation at hand. But this book, it doesn't bother me. But there is a miscommunication element. I just really like both characters. And I definitely need to pick up Vicious Spirits again by Cat Cho because I really am liking this. So I'm going to give her sequel another chance. So yeah, I'm going to go back to reading, and I'll update you guys when I can. Bye, friends. Here, I'm back. I did wind up getting up to pay 80% done in Once Upon a K-Prom. I'm really liking this book. Like, there's a lot of elements that just make me smile. It's a very, very quick pace read. I think it's interesting that, like, it's not every other chapter you get Robbie's point of view, because sometimes when you have a dual point of view story, like, the mystery is really gone, but you are getting points of his story, and then I think the other elements in Elena's story is super interesting. There's also a lot happening with Elena's family and the complexities of that. I'm really curious how this story winds up. Like, I'm really liking it. There's also like a multimedia element in it as well. I'm just really, really fond of the story. Like, I'm really enjoying it. Definitely going to be a higher rated read for me. It does get a bit messy because there is some secret keeping happening on Robbie's side that is connected to the industry, but I'm really enjoying it. So I have about an hour and 16 minutes left. I can definitely finish that book today. So I'm going to go read another 10% and then give you guys another check-in. But I'm really liking it. Also, YouTube key check-in because I did fall a little bit farther behind than I would like. I have 41 videos left. 41. And they're all pretty long. So we will see how that goes. But I'm going to keep reading and I'll update you guys when I can. Bye, friends. Lori here. It's about 3:46. I did wind up reading to 90% in Once Upon a K-Prom, and I have about 39 minutes left. So I'm making my way steadily through this book. I am really enjoying it. We have reached the third act situation, which always happens in contemporaries. I've read a couple recently that the third act situation is not as complicated. This one is massive miscommunication, and when I'm reading this, me as a reader is like, oh my god, why didn't you just tell the character what the situation was? Because it would have made the situation a lot easier, but he didn't make that decision. Super complicated, and I feel like it's going to go into a lot of different ways, and I'm curious to see how the story winds up. I do equally like both characters, and I understand why it had to be kept a secret, but I also know the public-facing world of this needed to be kept a secret, but I also feel like the secret could have been told to the main character, and it would have been okay. So, I will, if you want like my spoilerly thoughts, maybe I'll spoil it at the very, very end of this reading vlog. Like, well, I mean, it wouldn't even come out yet. So maybe I'm not going to spoil it, but I'll talk about it at a later point if you want to know. But like, the secret that was being kept maybe could have been told to the main character. So I'll just say that. But I am really liking it. I think her writing style is really, really fast paced. I really like the dive into the K-pop world. Again, I read another book a couple years ago called Shine that I also really liked. So I went back to reading, and when I'm done with this book, unless I feel the need to like come in the middle and like yell, I might. But other than that, I'll see you guys at the end. Bye, friends. I do want to take a little bit of a reading break because I want to go eat with my mom, but I do want to finishing Once Upon a K Prom. I thoroughly love this book from start to end. It was so fun. It has some of my favorite tropes, so I will definitely give it that. Like, it is friends to more, a blast from the past romance, some Hollywood glitz and glamour, girl next door. It had a lot of elements that I liked. One thing I really liked about it is that it sort of dived into Korean culture a little bit more, especially the K-pop thing. I don't really get that element to it. Like, I don't love that in my real life, but I love reading books about it. It's becoming like super popular. I have a couple more like on my TBR that I want to read that just are exploring more aspects of Korean culture. So I'm really excited for that. I'm going to take a moment and figure out what I want to read. I'm going to look to see if I could find what a blog tour I'm on, because it might be the next book I have to read. So I'm going to go see when that blog tour got pushed to and see if I can figure it out. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to either wrap up this reading vlog or start another reading vlog or continue this reading vlog. It all just depends on my next read. So I'll get that information and then I will report back. But 5 out of 5 stars. I really loved it. Really happy. This book was definitely an upgrade to Wicked Fox, but I do want to go back and read Vicious Spirits. So this was sort of like a mixed bag of a reading vlog so far, and I will sort of flesh them out at the very, very end. But let me go see what my next read is going to be. I did wind up doing a bit of research. The book I was going to add to this reading vlog, I don't think I have to read till June, and Disney is having so much publishing issues, so I'm just going to wait. I'm going to toss that in my next reading vlog, and if I wind up reading it, that's great. But the 2 books that I wound up reading in this reading vlog, one was Shinjin's Curse by Julie Kagawa. It is an e-arc that I got early from Disney. I actually really like that one. I think I like that one a little bit more than her Iron Face series and a little bit less than Shadow of the Fox, but I did like it. Thought it was an interesting way to kind of explore mythology in that story, and I really enjoyed it. I would probably give it like 3.75 stars. A nice, middle grade adventure series, and one that I would definitely continue reading. And then the next book that I read is by Cat Cho, and it's called Once Upon a K Prom. I actually really like this book. The previous book I read by this author was Wicked Fox, and I liked it. I enjoyed it, but I love this book a lot more. This was like a 5-star read for me. It had so many elements that I really liked, as you've seen through this reading journey. So I'm going to wrap up this reading vlog and go start another themed reading vlog because I have off this week and I'm really excited to dive in. I will talk to you guys for my next reading vlog. Bye, friends. Tell me in the comments what are some books by authors you have not loved that you've read recently and your thoughts. I would love to hear it, and we'll chat in the comments.